Hi, Didyar. Let's focus on that first assignment for assignment 4A. This is going to be our color file. So go ahead and open Inkscape and then click File, Save As. Find your Unit 4 folder under your digital art folder. If you haven't made those, do make those now. And you'll change this to be color.svg and then click Save. I've already started this, so I'll click Save just to make sure. All right. And this file is going to involve a lot of kind of clicking around and testing things out. So I do recommend that you pause the video and follow along with that. It's going to help you understand Inkscape better. The end result isn't going to be that exciting. That's okay. Your goal is to explore. And so let's prep this a little bit first. We're going to need 4 lines and we're going to create those with the calligraphy tool. So grab the calligraphy tool. And then we are going to change our settings up here under width. Make sure that that's set to pixels. And we are going to set that to, I think, 30 pixels is a good starting point. And then set the drop-down menu to marker. So 30 pixel width, marker. Then draw a line going across the page. And you'll want 4. So just draw 4 lines. Once you have that set up, grab your select tool and select one of the lines. And then in our fill and stroke menu, we're going to verify what we have and make a couple of adjustments. So to open fill and stroke, if you don't have it visible over here on the side, click Object menu in the top and then fill and stroke, and it should pop open. Once it's open, check the Fill tab. You should have a color visible here. Check the Stroke tab. You should have an outline stroke. If it's not visible, click the flat square to make it visible. And in the Stroke Style tab, we're going to change the width to pixels once again. And let's change it to 15 pixels for this one. So 15 pixel stroke. Now, we did that for our 1 line. I want you to repeat the process for your other 3 lines. If you draw a box around all 3, you can change them all at once. Double check that they have their fill. Turn on the fill if it's absent. In the Stroke Paint tab, make sure that it has a stroke. If it doesn't, add one. And then in the Stroke Style tab, change it to pixels, and then change the stroke to 15. So you should have these 4 lines with an inside color and then an outside color for the stroke. All right. So now we need to kind of explore our color options with Inkscape. You have some choices. We're going to explore all of those choices. Eventually, your goal will be to kind of find the option that best fits you. So the first one that you're introduced to is actually called what is it? The active palette. That's this thing down here with all of the color buttons. I believe it's automatically set up to show for anyone who downloads Inkscape, regardless of which one you have. If you don't see it though, you can activate it by going up to View, Show Hide, and then making sure that palette is selected. So that's the View menu, Show Hide, and then make sure that palette is clicked on. And it'll pop up down here. What you can do is here, let me go ahead and select a line, is you can click on colors within the palette and notice that my fill color is shifting and changing to the colors I click on. You can change your palettes if you click this little arrow bar over here. I think it's an arrow in the earlier Inkscape. The 3 lines is what I need to click on in the newer Inkscape, and it'll give me a choice for different types of palettes. So you can click on the blues and it'll give me a series of blues. If I click the down arrow, it gives me more options. I can click on khaki and it gives me different khaki colors. Again, using the arrows to give me more space. So click through a couple of different palettes, see if you like anything specific, and test things out. If you don't like what this is, you can always turn it off under the View menu. So just doing the opposite of what I showed you earlier. Click on View, Show Hide, and then click on Palette to uncheck it and it'll disappear, giving you a little bit more space. I'm going to go ahead and add that back on. One other thing that can be helpful with this palette is you can change the stroke color without much issue. And so if I use my keyboard key, Shift, and I click Shift before clicking, it'll change the stroke instead. So hold Shift and then click, and it'll change the stroke color. So just regular clicking will change the inside, Shift and clicking will change the outside. If you click on the X, it'll disappear. Okay, so those are our palettes, the active palette. The next area that you can start choosing your colors. So I'm going to go ahead and select my next line. The next area that you can kind of choose colors from is called swatches. And the class kind of advertises swatches as a nice option because you can have a slightly easier view of the colors. Down here, they're all kind of compressed down at the bottom. But with swatches, you have that show up over here where the fill and stroke menu is. So if you click View and then click Swatches, the swatches items open up over here. Right now it's kind of empty, but I can see my drop-down menu. And if I click that, I have different options to choose from. Not as many as the active palette, but there are certainly choices here. So I can click gold, and all of these golds show up. And notice I can see a lot more of these than I can those down here. In my version of Inkscape, I can also choose at the bottom to have the hex codes visible. Those are the numbers and letters. Or I can just have the colors visible. So I can switch between those two choices. Okay. And just like before, if you click on them, I believe it changes the color. Yep. So you can click on them and change the color. I'm going to try holding Shift. Let's see if that works. Yep, holding Shift does the same thing as the active palette. And so you can kind of click around. And I believe, I haven't tried this before, that if you're like extra creative with this, you can create your own set of swatches and colors. So that if you say are working on a character that you like to remake every time and you just want easy access to that color palette, create a swatch, activate that, and then you can color choose really fast when you're making art for that specific character. So that's a way that this can be helpful. If you don't want the swatches palette visible, you can click the little X here at the top, and that'll close that tab. The next way to choose your colors is one that we should already be kind of familiar with. So I'm going to switch up to my third line here, and that's by using our fill and stroke menu. So clicking on the fill, the default, I believe, is set to HSLA. But there's some other choices too. And on the newest version of Inkscape, they'll show up here in a sort of drop down. If it's the older version of Inkscape, I believe they're underneath the tabs here. So you can click on those. So we've got RGB, and you can move the color bars around on RGB and adjust them that way. You can change it to CMYK. So if you're working with sort of printing colors. My recommendation is leaving it on HSL. So hue, saturation, lightness, which would be value, lightness and darkness. Pretty straightforward. Saturation is it intense color or is it dull color? And then the H lets you adjust the hue here in the top. You also have the option of using the color wheel. It will be listed as just wheel in the tab area, or here I can open up the wheel by clicking this little arrow. And this can be useful because it's just a different way to think about color, but it's the same idea. So I can move the point around the color wheel to get my hue, and then I can adjust the little circle within the triangle to pick whether it's white, black, pure saturated color, or somewhere in between. So a little bit faster to pick my saturation and my value for these. So HSL or the color wheel are good choices for your fill and stroke menu. Now I'm going to switch down here and I want you to kind of play around, adjust, change the colors in different ways so that each line is a bit different. Stroke paint is just the same as the stroke fill or the fill and stroke fill. Set it to HSL. You can change the option over here, but HSL is the good option with the wheel as your sort of adjustment feature. All right. So once you feel comfortable choosing your colors, kind of reflect, do I like the active palette at the bottom? Do I like the swatches menu panel? Or do I like to use the fill and stroke area? Personal preference, I like the fill and stroke. It's very adaptive. So let's see here. All right, so I've changed the color for the fill and the stroke on all of my lines. They're each different. The next thing that I would like you to pay attention to are our opacity options. So click on your first line and notice that when you're under the HSL option for your color mixing under the fill and stroke menu, there is the A bar. This A bar controls how see-through our fill is, or how see-through our stroke is. And here I'm going to go ahead and kind of put this underneath. Okay, so you can see it. So notice that the opacity, the see-throughness of my stroke is adjusting as I adjust the A. Same thing with the fill. The A adjusts how see-through or opaque the opacity of the fill. And I can control those separately using the fill and stroke menu with the A option. Below all of those options down here, you can see an opacity option. If I adjust the opacity, notice that it controls both the fill and stroke at the same time. So if you want to control them separately, use the A feature under the fill and stroke menu. If you want to control them both at the same time, use the opacity option. So what I want you to do now is to take these 4 lines and I want you to make the top line fully opaque. You can't see through it at all. For the second line, I'd like you to adjust the alpha on the fill. For the third line, I'd like you to adjust the alpha on the stroke. And for the fourth line, I'd like you to adjust the opacity. So make it less visible. All right. So once you have a good feel for controlling alpha and opacity, now I'd like you to play with blur. So when we select our first line, notice here that the blur is set to 0. If I take this blur option and I increase it, it gets very fuzzy looking. So bring that blur back down to 0. And then I want you to make the next lines slightly fuzzier. The third line a little more fuzzier. And the fourth line the fuzziest, but still visible. I want to be able to see all 4 lines. And this should be it. So once you feel comfortable changing your colors, adjusting the alpha and opacity, and then adjusting the blur, we're finished. Save your work and then save this to turn in with assignment 4A.